Okay, so I already made one of these videos on my main account, which isn't linked to this account. So I'm gonna, you know, I guess make a second one for this channel, which is, and for this channel, I guess I'm kind of following in Kenny's footsteps, because, I'm a fucking follower, bitches. What? Okay. But anyway, this is my coming out video version 2, where my voice isn't all high and annoying, and it sounds like shit, and I have braces and contacts, which are annoying me, but that's not the point. Okay, so coming out, I don't particularly like that term. It kind of sounds derogatory to me, like it's, but I can't think of any other way to say it besides coming out, because when you do, that's exactly what it is coming out, because it's something that in some people you've been hiding for such a long time, and you've been trying so hard to keep it from other people's known attention. So coming out is nothing easy, and it's one of the most stressful things you will ever go through. The first person I came out to was my cousin when um I was about to start my 8th grade year. So I was 13. I was 13 when I came out to my cousin, and I will honestly say it scared the shit out of me. I was on the brink of tears. Like, you have no idea how much pure stress that is. And the reason I told her first is because I felt like I could trust her. I felt as though she wouldn't tell anyone without my consent. And she didn't, and I'm really glad for that, because some people, I'm not gonna mention any names, but if he sees this, oh well. I told him, and he was like the 15th person I had came out to. And so what he does is he goes and tells the person, who then goes and tells another person, and then another, and then another, and then four more, and then five more. And then somehow someone asked me, Cameron, are you gay? Because I heard that you're gay. And 8th grade, middle of first semester, I'm sitting there. Someone comes up and asks me if I'm gay. I freak the fuck out. I'm like, no, I'm straight. I'm straight. Blah blah blah, all that shit, and just the most. Ugh, there's not words to explain the feeling. It's just pure. I don't even. Like I said, there's no words to explain that feeling. And then, so eventually, I grow the balls to go up to him and be like, hey, did you tell anyone that I was gay? And he's like, no, no, and the whole time denying it. And then I ask him again, like 2 weeks later, did you tell anyone I was gay? He's like, yeah, but Karen, you need to come out. It's not that hard. And I'm like, you obviously, yeah, you say that, but, like, and at the time, he was only out with me and about 15 other people. Same situation I'm in. But I didn't go around blabbing to the entire school that, you know, he was gay, or at the time bisexual, whatever. And so I'm sitting there like I'm just fucking pissed, and you know, so yeah, and then that happened, and so I go through the entire year, 8th grade year, in denial about it, and on the second to last day or last day of school, my friend Kendra asked me in the hall on my way down to my locker, and she's like, "Cameron, are you gay?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yes, I am." And I did some weird shit with my bag, flew backwards, and walked down the hallway. And I don't know, but I think at that moment, when I said yes after about a 1 second pause, I don't know, I guess it was just something inside me saying, "You're ready, you can do this." I mean, there's nothing to be worried about. You've come out to all these people already, and they haven't judged you, so obviously you're doing something right. And so that feeling is just the most amazing feeling you will ever feel. And every time you come out to someone, it'll be like this weight that you didn't know that was there being lifted off your shoulders. And and speaking of weights, another weight that will be hard for anyone, most particularly guys, but if you're a guy and you're gay or even bisexual, I mean, the hardest person you will ever tell will be your father. My father doesn't believe I'm gay for a reason which is unknown to me, because I've been told many times on many occasions that I am flamboyant, which I don't, whatever. But your father is the hardest person you will ever have to come out to, and the main reason he'll just be against it or whatever is because, he'll want grandchildren, and he'll want his last name to go on, and he acts like that won't happen. Like, okay, I have a boyfriend. Okay, no one knows about it except for the people who will be watching this video who now know about him, and some really good friends of mine that have been really supportive and that I personally, truly, honestly love. And them and some other people know about him, and it's a long distance relationship, which can be really complicated. But every time you do talk to them, it's like this feeling of euphoria almost. Like you just can't get enough. Like you don't want the conversation to end, but at some point it has to. And then once it does, you're just sitting there with that feeling of just pure. But so yeah, I have a boyfriend, okay? My other friend, my lesbian friend, is going to be a surrogate mother. At some point in the future, she's going to be a surrogate mother for my children, and that's gonna be that. And, you know, on the off chance that the I do get a boy from the surrogate mother, um, I'm never said I'm gonna take anyone's last name, I would hyphenate, and I would, but on, like, yeah, I would hyphenate, or I just would have them take my last name. And, it's not like the kid's last name won't go on. Like, if it's a boy, its name will still be Mobley. Its last name will still be Mobley, no matter if, unless he gets married and takes their name. Whatever, but hardest person you'll ever have to tell is your dad. And that's the reason, is because you don't know what to expect from anyone. My dad is the only person I've ever faced opposition from. And, my parents, I didn't tell my parents. This is going to sound really weird, but they told me they took my phone when I came out during the summer of my 7th grade break. And then one day they come over and they're like, "Cameron, sit down." And they're like, you can trust us with anything. We're never gonna judge you. We're never gonna put you down for who you are. And I had forgot to delete my messages that month, and I had a bunch of messages to my best friend, who was the second person I told, and I'm like, oh yeah, he is totally fuckable. I'd like plow him against the wall, all that shit, blah blah blah, and so I'm just sitting there glaring at them like, really, bitch? You read my fucking messages, then you're gonna come to me and say, it's okay, we know you're gay, we're not gonna judge you. And they didn't say that, but they might as well have, and so that just pissed me off. And so I guess freshman year, my mom said, Cameron, don't be going around flaunting that you're gay, we want you to be safe. And so I'm like, okay, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So what do? I go and am openly gay, and I'm really glad that my school has an LGBT club, which is not really an LGBT club or a GSA. Well, it is a GSA, but that's not its intended purpose. It's like mixed background or whatever. But I'm really lucky that my school has one of those, and it's just, yeah. But one of the major things about coming out is that you have to be ready. Like, you can't have any second guesses. You have to you have to be able to sit down and say, I'm gay, this is me. I don't resent or judge myself for who I am. If you can't sit down and say that to yourself, you're not ready to come out, and it's just a time thing. You have to be able to say it to yourself. You have to be comfortable with it. It's just a whole lot of things that a lot of people aren't ready to do, because some people are forced out of the closet. Some people are like fallout, I guess, because like they'll come out while they're drunk at a party or whatever. But that's the biggest thing, is coming out when you're ready and and you're making a conscious decision to tell somebody, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm transgender, I'm bisexual. This is me, take me as I am or leave me as I am. I'm not going to change for you or anyone else. That's my deep video. So, okay, bye bye.